In life, Earl Simmons was a pit bull, misunderstood, misplaced, and mistreated. If you've ever watched the film Figurative Station, you would know that this canine breed is a socio-political catalyst. The pit bull, within Figurative Station and similar works, is a symbolic representation of black men. As frequent recipients of negative misnomers, pit bulls are commonly referred to as dangerous, when in reality, pit bulls are not innately dangerous. Like any other dog, they can become violent, aggressive, and mean through a lack of training, abuse, neglect, irresponsible ownership, careless breeding, as well as the lack of attention to health and temperament issues. Although again, innately, pit bulls are not dangerous. And the same sentiment carries for Earl Simmons, which may explain Earl's resonance for pit bulls, as in a figurative tense, he quite literally was a human pit bull. Which led me to this theory. If pit bulls are representative of Earl Simmons, and Earl Simmons has always had an affinity for canines such as pit bulls, maybe with this relationship, Earl is able to love an extension of himself. He is able to nurture a vulnerable aspect of himself externally, because some of God's most vulnerable creations are small animals and children. That may be the reason why Earl Simmons gladly fathered 15 children, because he was able to love a part of himself that wasn't loved in adolescence. It's almost like he was attempting, or at least had the opportunity, to repair his childhood through and or within parenthood. Earl Simmons just wanted to be loved unconditionally, yet to do so for himself appeared to be difficult. Now DMX was the ego and received the love that young Earl Simmons always desired. DMX was the personality of the trio. As discussed within a VH1 special, Earl Simmons noted, "You couldn't be too confident growing up in my household." So DMX, in my opinion, was created for the sake of confidence. DMX seemed to be the intersection of Earl. And finally, X. X was the transmutation of negativity. Rather than being positive vibrations at high frequencies, X was negative vibrations at high frequencies, as he was the embodiment of young Earl's trauma. With or without drugs, X would have always been there. X would have always existed, given the childhood trauma. So with the knowledge acquired from these adverse encounters, X would be the mentor created to aid young Earl's navigation through the grid. X benefited Earl the most in his adolescence or youth. When stuff got sick, X would get wicked, something young Earl otherwise would not do. And due to the injuries young Earl sustained, almost like a helicopter parent, X became hypersensitive. X was hypersensitive as he needed to be in awareness and skepticism. Overall, X seemed to be representative of pride, as at times X took the protector role too far. X could become suffocating and would further prevent young Earl from assessing the resources of help that was and or would be available unto him. X made it harder for Earl to exist alone. X was merely created for survival, not livelihood. And inevitably, X deprived Earl of life.